Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. Today we are going to use the complex conditions in JavaScript loop counter. So the things that we are going to learn in this tutorial are the concept of gets and using it to a purpose that best fits the criteria. That means we will be using here AND get, but we will be get acquainted with or not, this kind of gets. The second thing that we are going to learn here is indexing the variable value and start the counter. Nesting an if-else statement into the for loop counter and thus limiting the loop within a specified value inside the for loop counter. So all you have to do is to watch the video till end, and the question is, now what if I get a little bit of more complicated over here? Now in this second condition we are declaring another set where var a, that means we are introducing a variable and we have set a value against it. We are now using a for condition. The value of variable a is 2, then comes var a is greater than or equals to 2 and we are stating that a is lesser than equals to 10 and we are stating that a plus plus. That means it will be a stepwise increment, a stepwise +1 increment. So this is the condition, and here we are printing a, and here we are concatenating it with a line break tag. So all we are doing, we are now just getting back to our project and reload, and we can see here that this value has been printed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All those values have been printed, and the starting value, indexing value here is 2, as we have set the index value as 2, and then the last value is 10, as we have stated here that a is lesser than or equals to 10. That means the starting value will be 2 and the ending or the closing value will be 10, and there will be a stepwise increment a plus plus. So what are these and condition? Now these are practically some kind of gates. Now here and this means both the conditions should be met here. The value of a should be greater than or equals to 2, and on the other hand it should satisfy the same condition, variable a must be lesser than or equals to 10. If this condition is not met, then the whole system will collapse and the looping will be closed and no execution of your program will be seen at all. So this is the thing that you need to know in the first case. In the second situation, if we use here this one, this means the OR gate. That means we are using here OR gate, this or that. Here it comes, the condition here is, this is the first condition and this is the second condition. That means any of this condition, if it is satisfied, then it will execute this following depiction over here. And another thing is not. If a is not equals to 10 or if a is not lesser than 10. So in this particular case we are observing, we are ensuring that both the conditions are being satisfied over here. If both the conditions are satisfied, then there won't be any obligation and the document.write will execute. In the first case it is checking for the value of a is 2, that means it is indexed as 2. Then it is checking as whether a is greater than or equals to 2 and a is lesser than or equals to 10. And only then, when both these conditions are satisfied, then it is now printing into your HTML browser as the value of the variable, and then it gives a line break tag, and then the increment occurs and the loop enters into next possible execution. So that is why when we are getting back to our project, we can see that all these values sequentially starting from 2 and ending to 10 is being executed. 11 in this case is not lesser than 10, and that is why the value after 10 won't be executed over here. Now what will happen if we provide a nested if else condition over here? For say, we'll say that up to this sixth value it will be executing this whole program, and whenever this sixth value is been reached over here, at that particular moment the program will be stopped executing and the loop will terminate. So how to do that thing? So what should we do in this particular case? Now of course this thing should lie into your for statement, into this for counter loop, and that should be a nested if else condition. If a is compared to 6, then only under this condition it will print here as, and then it will break the loop over here. So if we now just get back to our project, and we can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has been reached here, and then it prints as, looks like we are at the dead end. So this is the exact thing that we were practically looking for. So what is the mechanism behind this programming? In this first case we are doing as usual loop counting over here, and then it is printing those values. Now like this, 2, first of all it is checking for 2, this condition is met, and then the display into your HTML browser happens, and then the counter comes into action. It is now getting increased to 3, so a equals to 3. Then this condition is met again, no problem with it. So again display into your HTML browser jumps into the next increment series 4, 5, 6. But whenever this 6 is been arrived, is been reached at, then this nested if else condition comes into action. It is practically now checking all the time whether a is compared to 6 or not, and whenever 6 value is been attained, then it is writing here as, looks like we are at the dead end, and the program is now terminated, the loop is now terminated with this break command, and everything is been printed into your browser except anything beyond 6. And that is what we are witnessing into our project. We can see that from starting from 2, it is now executing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is been arrived, and that is why it is now showing you this particular line. So this is how the program flows over here. So this is how the for counter actually comes into action. This is known as the looping of your JavaScript programming. Hope you guys have liked this tutorial. If you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.